everyone, and welcome back to another Let's Talk video. So today we're primarily going to be discussing the buildings that Deck has been posting about. So if you guys didn't know this, Deck has a assistant developer now named Golden Skull, and he does a lot of graphic design with buildings and that kind of thing. So you can probably imagine how exciting this must be because, you know, we saw some glimpses of buildings of the map, but now we finally are going to be getting some solid actual buildings. And whether or not we can go into these buildings is kind of unknown right now. I've been analyzing the images, trying to find any sign of a door or any way we could get in, but there honestly hasn't been any talk of being able to go into the buildings or interact with them. So for now, we're just going to say that the buildings are kind of for show, just like in Realms.io, but hopefully that's going to be different later on. So I know that this is going to be a big video mainly about buildings, but I think we can just recognize here that the map is going to be massive. Like, about the map with, Deck mentioned how there could be like one map per server, so like different maps each server, and this wouldn't mean like there's a completely different map for every single server. And that would definitely be a massive task, which is why this update's probably going to take a while, but from what I'm seeing, it's moving along decently fast. The GMs are able to go into the test server and play around with things, and Skillhead had a little too much fun with that, but it was funny. Anyway, so in the images you can see how there's a warrior and he's standing in front of a little gate area thing with some campsites in it. They're all labeled Vanguard, but guys, we all know that there's gonna be some Bloodless ones too, of course. But according to the lore, Vanguard was more of a kingdom, and the Bloodless were more of a different faction that didn't necessarily have established buildings or, long-lasting buildings. So, in this image, Golden Skull was playing around with some different doors. It looks like characters could fit through them without the weapons, but right now it doesn't look like the doors are necessarily large enough for a character to go through, and otherwise the area is generally open, so doors wouldn't necessarily be needed. See how a town square was kind of built, and in one of the images there's a statue of what looks like a golden king holding up his sword, but he has eyes. And that brings up the question of, will there be eyes on our characters with this update? Which a lot of people were kind of conflicted about ever having eyes on our characters because of how derpy it looks. But I think either the statue indicates that we will be getting eyes on our characters, or simply that that statue kind of was a representation of the Hordes logo that has eyes. But again, we don't know for sure, and Deck didn't really mention too much about the eyes being a thing. So then also near that town square, you can see how there are different heights of trees and different types of trees. So it looks like we're definitely, for sure, if I didn't confirm that in another video, that we will be getting different types of trees, which is definitely a very good thing because we've been seeing different biomes, like ocean biomes with a lot of sand, and then we've been seeing biomes where it's purely forest. So those are two very different biomes. So having different types of trees and different heights will definitely be very good. And we did see that around the time where I did the video with the water, but this is just another confirmation of that. Another thing we can see in a river type area on a simple little island is a lamppost, and these lampposts are going to work. They're going to light up at night, and the day and night cycle, Deck said, is completely done. So that is a big part of the thing, and I'm wondering how often, what the day and night cycle is going to be, but my best guess is it'd be every server reset, so probably going to be I don't know how often the server resets happen, but however often those happen, I feel like the day and night cycle could very well go with that, just to keep it easy and simple. And with the topic of islands, that brings up the question of how are we going to get to these islands, or are they just going to be for show? So I think personally that, swimming has to happen. I don't think we're going to be able to swim in rivers, but I definitely think we're going to be able to walk through water at least. A lot of other people think that too. in the hordes.io Discord server, which I'll leave the link to that in the description so you guys can see all of the leaks they're putting in the assets channel. So yeah, with swimming, we've discussed this before with the water, but the fact that there are going to be islands, like mini little islands, I'm wondering what the purpose of them would be, other than just kind of add to the whole aesthetic of it being like part of the gigantic map and kind of being more realistic with, there are obviously islands in a world, but then if you think about it in terms of, this is kind of stretching it, but if you think about it in terms of real life, with islands, there have to be plate tectonics, and with plates there have to be volcanoes. So I'm wondering if there's going to be a red area like on Hordes where it's a volcano, because that area could easily be like a lava-ridden area, kind of like on Realms.io. And I know I'm comparing it a lot to Realms, but Realms and Hordes definitely have a lot in common in terms of what Realms has now for a map and what Hordes will soon have for a map. Which, when I say soon, don't get your hopes up, because we don't actually know for sure when this is going to be released, just that it's going to take a very long time. And I think at the rate they're going, maybe it'll come out like early 2020 or at the end of this year. I'm hoping I'm wrong, it'll be sooner, but at the same time, at least, if they come out with a test server, that I think that'll come maybe mid this year, if not like at the end of this year, and then delay the actual update until 2020. So I'm hoping there's going to be a test server, and if there is, I will try to record things if I'm allowed to, but if I'm not allowed to, I'm not going to be betraying Deck's trust and just do it anyway. So yeah, you can also see that in the woods there's going to be an outpost. Livium, the GM, mentioned something about this, and how there's going to be like an outpost spot where a guard should be, and I'm wondering, is this just going to be another thing where we have a warden, or is there going to be another thing where like a character goes up there, well, not even another thing, but where a character gets to sit up there and keep guard, but then how they decide which character gets to go up there? Like, is it going to be random? Is it just whoever gets there first gets to be the guard? Or is it going to be a different AI, or just more wardens, like I said before? And the wardens also, you can see in one of these pictures how the wardens have a golden helmet now, and it's not a metal one. So I'm wondering if that's going to show how the wardens will actually progress up the fame chain with different helmets, but not crowns. So, like, in that picture, maybe those wardens had killed a lot of characters with a lot of fame, and therefore they got into the golden helmet. Unlike we're on Hordes now, wardens don't get any fame, they just are kind of stuck at the metal helmet, and that's all they are. So that's, I think, a possibility, but again, trying to make it so the wardens are only limited to the helmets would kind of be difficult, because you have to stop them from being able to get past, 5,000 fame, and then you'd have to stop them from getting any lower than 1,000 fame. So again, I think it's possible just because of how the wardens are now and how they're in that image, because I don't think Deck would want to change things so much in terms of the AI, and maybe change up, like, how many AI are going to be in a PvE server, if that's going to happen again. And with the outpost, with it being the PvE idea, I think that if there are wardens at the outposts can be attacked, but they're going to be like, a kind of a safe zone, because the map's going to be so huge. Like, you got to have a couple different spots where players can sit down and, like, not sit down, but like, you know what I mean, where players can take a break, sell stuff if they need to, and just, have a spot where they can respawn. Because if you go halfway across this map with thinking how large it is, and then you die and respawn halfway across the map again, and you have to go all the way back, like, imagine how long that would take. So I think the outposts could possibly be like separate spawn points, and hopefully that's the case, because honestly, that would be so annoying if we had to like travel back and forth and it'd take like 10 minutes with how large this map is. So yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed. I hope I covered everything. I think we covered everything in general, but for this video, and I'll let you guys know if anything new comes up, like anything new with buildings, I might mention, but I'm not gonna make a whole new video about it, just because I don't want to have 20 different videos covering almost the same things. So in terms of development, I'll keep you guys posted on that. And for the survival lore people, I hope you guys can, warm up to the hordes lore ones. And yeah, so I'll see you guys in the next video, and I'll keep an eye out for any leaks from Justin, the Surviv developer, and any new leaks for hordes. So see you guys later. So here's a story about how smart cats are compared to humans. I'm just kidding. One of my cats one time, who was an indoor cat. All of our cats were always indoor cats. She managed to get out of my house. And note that she was an older cat, and our younger cat, Coco, saw that, and she went up to our giant picture window over here, and she looked out the window and was meowing her head off. We were like, oh my god, what is your problem? So we look out the window, and our cat, Belle, who was kind of old then, not extremely old, but kind of elderly, was walking across the street, somehow got out and got the door open, even though that door is like really heavy. We don't know how she got open or how it was open at all. And yeah, so like my dad had to run out in the street and grab our runaway cat, who was so chill and calm. Like, she was just casually walking across the street. It wasn't even like anything crazy. She didn't try to run. She was like, oh, hi there. And she was completely chill about it. And it was so weird. And we still, I don't think, have found out how that door got open, because that's a pretty dense door that we have right there. See ya.